Hey, what's up everybody? Jake here and welcome to the hobby. Is that not a super cool collection using the background? These are some of my favorite cards that I've collected over the past couple of years, and I just love seeing this background. I don't know when it happened, I don't know how it happened, but this collection is easily worth over $10,000 right now. And here's the kicker, I didn't spend $10,000 on these Pokemon cards. In fact, I didn't even spend $8,000 to get all of these cool Pokemon cards. So in today's video, I'm going to share with you guys my secret sauce. This is how I collect Pokemon cards. This is how I decide to pick the best Pokemon cards and what I think will go up in the future. People ask me all the time on what is the best Pokemon card to collect, and I always say it depends. Well, in today's video, I'm not going to tell you what Pokemon cards are going to go up in value, but I'm going to tell you what to look for. Exactly how I look for Pokemon cards, so you can do this as well. Before we get started, I'd like to thank Buyee for sponsoring this video. If you haven't heard, Buyee is the go-to source for picking up exclusive Pokemon cards that are only available in Japan. I've used Buyee for years to scoop up everything from Mario Pikachu, Screen promos, to the Japan Post promos. Buyee gives you a direct line to Japan's hottest collectibles, and they will ship it to you anywhere in the world. Using their service is incredibly easy. I just use Buyee to pick up a special deal from the Pokemon Center Japan, where for every 1,000 yen I spend, I get a copy of one of the Unagaba Evolutions. It was such a good deal. Click the link in the description to sign up to Buyee today. You'll get an immediate 10% off your first purchase from Japan. Thank you again to Buyee for sponsoring today's video. How much did I spend on this Mimikyu? Less than $100. How much did I spend on this Mario Pikachu? Less than $100. How much did I spend on this Latias and Latios Tag Team GX card? Less than $50. So all of these great looking Pokemon cards that are now considered high-end Pokemon cards that are going for over $1,000 easily used to cost under $100. How do I decide what is going to go up in value? There's only two qualities that I look for. The first key quality is time. Now that's going to sound super important because of course time is important. What do I mean by time? My benchmark is 2 years. An item has to be at least 2 years old for me to consider picking it up long term for my collection. Now, of course, there's lots of cool items inside of my collection that I pick up immediately after release, but the true benchmark for when an item is going to spike in value is 2 years. An item really has to be over 2 years old for it to really start to seriously climb. The Mario Pikachu card was going for under $200 for 3 years after release. The Mimikyu card was going for under $200 for 2 years after release. The Latias and Latios Tag Team GX was going for under $100 for over 2 years as well. And so that is a strong benchmark. You might think you need to get in on the ground floor. You might think you need a card immediately after release or else you're missing out. And that is not the case. Pokemon collecting requires a lot of time, a lot more time for these items to really gain value than people think. If you buy an item that has just released, it just has not spent enough time baking in the oven for it to really rise in value. Another important factor to time is that it gives it an opportunity for these items to actually spike in value. I don't know the amount of posts that I see online when people are shocked, absolutely shocked, when an item goes from $50 to $100 or from $100 to $1,000 in a week, 2 weeks, or a very short period of time. That's just how collectibles work. People want steady returns from their Pokemon card collection as if it was a stock or another kind of investment asset, and that's not how collectibles work. Collectibles like to spike in value, and how it pretty much works is that people will pick up items on the secondary market at a designated value until it runs out. And once it runs out at that price point, the only way you can get another one of these items is if you're buying from another collector. And now I'm not giving up my collection. regardless of the price. I just love my collection because it's my personal collection. So to me, a lot of these items are priceless. So the only way that you can pry this from a collector is if you're willing to pay a higher premium. So that's how collectibles work. They stay at $100 for 2 years and suddenly they spike to $500 to $1,000. XY Evolutions as a set. The booster box was going for $100 for 4 years straight, and on the 5th year it jumped from $100 to $800 in the period of almost 2 to 3 months. That's just how collectibles works. So the first key thing that I look for when it comes to collecting is time. If an item is 2 years old, then that's when I start seriously thinking about having it inside of my collection long term. What does that mean for you? It means an item that was recently released, like Crown Zenith, the Elite Trainer Box, or the Charizard Ultra Premium Collection, is not something that I'm really thinking about picking up right now. I can have those items inside of my collection just because I enjoy them, but I do not expect those to go up in value in any time in the near future just because they are recent release. They haven't had that running start yet to really climb in value. That doesn't mean you could go back as far as you want when it comes to Pokemon card collecting. If you're looking for items that are going to go up in value, I would say vintage items are probably the least likely to really spike in value. That's just because they've been around for a long time and there's no longer any discovery to be had with older Pokemon cards. Everyone knows about Base Set Charizard and Rayquaza Gold Star. These cards are not going to jump up in value because their price on the secondary market is pretty much set in stone. You really want items that came out within the last 5 years but still older than 2 years to really have that discoverability, to have that ability to be underrated, to have that ability to climb up in value. So let's talk about that. What are some items that are older than 2 years but still new enough that can really climb up in value? Now, I'm not going to name any specific Pokemon card or Pokemon card products that is going to climb in value, but I'm going to tell you what you can look for, and that is the best of an individual given tier. What do we have here in the background? We have Marnie, one of the best full art trainer card. We have Mario Pikachu, one of the best Japanese promo card. We have the Mimikyu Scream promo, one of the best looking artwork, and the Latias and Latios Tag Team GX card, arguably the best looking alt art card. So these cards are some of the best cards in their given category. Now you can argue with me whether they're the best card or not, but they are undoubtedly some of the best cards inside of their specific categories. So what would I recommend you start picking up? I would say look for items that are the best of their categories. What are some of the best Pokemon cards right now that are trainer gallery cards? What are the best VMAX cards? What are the best English promo cards? What are the best Japanese promo cards in a given year? Once you start looking at it from the perspective of what makes a specific product or a specific Pokemon card really stand out, you'll be able to really determine what is going to be the best for your personal collection. Now, a recent item inside of my collection that spiked up in value was the Team Up booster box. Now let's talk about this. Why did this really spike in value? Well, this is arguably one of the best Sun and Moon set. It has the Latios and Latias Tag Team GX card, and it has an extremely low print run. In fact, Team Up was never restocked. They released a batch of it from the very beginning and they never reprinted or restocked it ever again. It has some of the lowest prints out of any Sun and Moon era set. I picked up this booster box at retail for $120 and now it's going for easily over $1,000. I have it inside of my collection because I absolutely love this set. I never plan on selling this booster box just because I enjoy the memory that it has given me. So if you're interested in collecting high-end Pokemon cards, do not fret because you can start with a very low starting budget when it comes to high-end collectibles. I cannot even tell you the last time I spent over $200 on a specific Pokemon card product. Pretty much everything I pick up is under that price, even though I have so many items inside of my collection that are going for thousands and thousands of dollars. They all started at incredibly low value, and they stayed at those values for years. It was not like these items became thousands of dollars as soon as they were released. I picked up this Pokekune booster box for under $200. Now, this is personally one of my favorite items inside of my personal collection. A super cool Pokemon card set when the Pokemon company really tried to appeal towards a female demographic, so they made a very adorable Pokemon card set. It's incredibly low print, and honestly, I don't think you can find one of these booster boxes online to pick up regardless of how much money you're willing to spend, because that's how rare these booster boxes have become. You do not have to spend thousands of dollars, although you can, because all these cards are still available to be picked up today. Just remember that you have to look for items that are over 2 years old and are the best of their individual category. The best trainer gallery cards, the best VMAX card, the best V-Star card. If a card stands out, if it's truly an amazing card, and if you really believe in it, then you're maximizing your chances of it going up in value in the long term and having it inside of your collection to become a trophy item before anyone else spotted it. I hope this video has been insightful. That's pretty much my thoughts and my secret sauce on how I have a really valuable Pokemon card collection. Honestly, my Pokemon card collection is well into the 6 figures range, which is wild because I collected Pokemon cards as a starving college student for most of my collecting career. Believe me, I'm not a millionaire, so everything inside of my collection was incredibly cheap at one time or another, and I just happened to be very lucky, and knowing what has the best chances to go up in value has really helped me out in the long term. Thank you so much again for watching. If you have any questions, leave it down in the comment section. I'll be sure to answer it as soon as I can, and I will see you guys next time.